In this video, we are going to talk about the signs that you are going through a spiritual upgrade. A spiritual upgrade happens usually shortly after you go through a spiritual awakening. It may happen after some few months. Some of you could be just weeks, but normally I could recommend in about 6 months is when you're going to start experiencing massive spiritual upgrades. So that is when your entire life will change and shift out of the older frequency into the new energy and frequency. Now, when you start when you've gone through a spiritual awakening, you will embark on something that many people call a spiritual journey. A spiritual journey is when you are elevating on a very mental and emotional state. You're growing to become your greatest version. You're thinking about better life choices. You're thinking about so many things you could do to make sure that you become that person that you've always wanted or desired to be. Now, what normally happens on that journey, your body goes through a lot of changes. And we are talking about a lot of them. Your body goes through massive DNA upgrades, massive transformation, and depending on how much work you put into yourself and how much work you do, will also be the outcome of what you're going to experience on that particular journey. There will come a time, my chosen ones, when you will feel you are not that same person that you've always been. So you look at your pictures. That is the sign number one. You are going to look at the pictures, old ones, your pictures maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, depending on when you started your journey. And you're going to see you are not that same person that you used to be. Something has changed about your voice. Something has changed about your body weight. Something has changed about your character. You are not the same person that you used to be. You are clearly going to see the difference, and it will be very clear you have been upgraded because you're becoming the new version of you. Sign number 2, that you are going through massive spiritual upgrades, is when you will now recognize you have lost a lot of people. By losing, I'm not talking about they have passed away. Okay, maybe something happened to them and they passed away, but I'm pretty much talking about even physically. There's no longer any people that used to be around you. All of them have left. You are having a new type of friends. You have got different preferences when it comes to the people that you want around you. You're choosing better, even relationships. And pretty much the people that used to be in your past, they are pretty much left and nobody is around. That is also going to be a sign that you're going through massive spiritual upgrades. Sign number 3, I'm just downloading this information. I don't have a script. You're clearly having very vivid dreams. You wake up and you don't even know if you was living that dream or it was a dream in actual reality. But the thing is, what is really happening when you go through massive spiritual upgrades, there is some fog that will lift off of your brain and the veil will become thinner or even sometimes disappear completely. And when that happens, you also pay attention and you will notice you are having very, very clear, vivid dreams. Sign number 4, you're going through massive spiritual upgrades, is when you will have very difficult time finding a partner. You cannot be a spiritually upgraded person and you allow yourself to date a person who is from a lower vibration. They're looking nice, you like their body, their faces, whatever, maybe you like what they do and the way they, but still, on a spiritual level, you feel like you are not spiritually aligned. You can feel, it doesn't matter, and this is something that nobody can fake it. A spiritual upgrade, you cannot fake it. It will naturally show. Even the people around you will recognize that you're different. There is a way you do or you speak or you carry yourself that is not the same way that you used to do. So basically, when it comes to relationships, you will also struggle to have a clear, beautiful relationship. You may every now and then run into somebody, you may date a week or two, and then afterwards you're going to be like, they're coming from a different place spiritually, and you don't want to waste their time. So you will actually tell them that, listen, it's not going to work. I have a lot of respect and love for you. I wish you all the best on your journey, but for us to avoid any further misunderstandings or confrontations or whatever, it's better that we do not carry on with this whole thing because you've already seen it. It's not going to work. Number 5, you have a raised sense of awareness about the world around you. Because you see, when you have a spiritual upgrade, it's going to feel like you have an increased sense of discernment. It's like whenever something shows up in your vicinity or in your presence, you know what it is, you know what it means, you see the signs, you understand deeply, even those things you were never able to understand before. So you have a higher level of discernment. That is also a very powerful sign you're going through a spiritual upgrade. Sign number 6, that you're experiencing a massive spiritual upgrade, is when you will have a lot of people irritated by you. Anyway, you've always irritated people, even before anything happened, because you're simply a chosen one, a person of coming from the light. But this time you're going to recognize, you just show up, and there's these people that you run into, they can just simply not stand you. They cannot look at you. They feel like your presence is disturbing their demons, and they are kind of fighting with themselves. Sometimes they are walking away and stuff like that. So it is clear that you are going to irritate a lot of people. Sign number 7 that you're going through a massive spiritual upgrade is when you are eventually going to feel a very deeper connection to nature. Because the energy you're embodying now at that particular moment, it requires you to connect a little bit more with Mother Earth, with Gaia. You want to go at the lake, take a swim. You want to go and walk around the parks. You want to go and meditate a little bit more. You want to pretty much go and look at the animals. You are feeling like this authentic, beautiful version of you that pretty much wants to connect with nature. I think that was sign number 7. So I think we're going to number 8, that you're going through a massive spiritual upgrade. Is when you're going to notice you're attracting a lot of wildlife. It can be domestic life, depending on if you run into a dog somewhere when you're walking around, or maybe you're moving around and you're going to see birds are buzzing around you, flies are buzzing around you, birds are flying around you. Sometimes dogs are running to you, ladybugs are falling on your body. Sometimes you move around and you notice a ladybug fell on your shoe, maybe it fell on your shirt, and stuff like that. That is because these animals, actually, they can pick up on that energy. It's a very high frequency energy. So when you're out and about doing your own thing, you're also attracting a lot of wildlife towards you. The sign number 9 that you're going through a very massive spiritual upgrade, that is going to be when you'll usually find yourself extremely isolated. Now, the isolation basically happens whereby there is nobody who is in vibrational alignment with you. So these people kind of like, they feel on a spiritual level, they're not at your level. So they prefer to stay away from you. And this is also going to be the friends that you've always had. They're kind of pretty much getting far away from you. They don't want to be around you. Sometimes they feel like when they're around you, they're getting triggered or irritated. So it is going to cause some sense of loneliness. And you may find yourself longing for longing about meeting the people that have also done the work on themselves, so that you guys can meet each other halfway. Okay, you don't have to go and meet them all the way. You guys can just meet each other halfway, and you already know what time it is. The next one is sign number 10, that you are going through massive spiritual upgrades, is when your body is no longer prone to sicknesses or diseases. Back in the days, you used to catch a cough. You just went out, you start sneezing, or maybe you was around somebody, you catch a cough or something like that. But when you're in a very high frequency, you have no longer that energy of attracting these sicknesses. They are very low vibrational, and you're in a very high vibrational state at the moment. You've been upgraded, and now those little sicknesses and illnesses, skin problems, stomach, whatever that used to be around you or happen to you, they're no longer a problem. That is a very big sign that you have gone through a very huge and massive spiritual upgrade. Sign number 11, that you are going through a spiritual upgrade, is when you no longer have the feeling to do those same things that you used to do. Many things you like back in the days. You used to go to the pubs, you used to hang around some people, you used to engage certain activities, but now you're in this stage whereby you're like, you can't be bothered. Your friends are dragging you, come on, let us go to the park, let us go and do this, or let us go and hunt for the girls and the boys. You're like, okay, I'll find you guys, you guys can keep going, and I'll come at my own time. You're no longer bothered with those things because you already understand they're very low frequency activities, and you don't want to engage because you value your energy. When you go through a spiritual upgrade, which is the last one, is when sometimes you're going to have a lot of trouble to sleep. So you may find yourself, you're awake pretty much half of the night. You try to force yourself to sleep, you pamper yourself to sleep, nothing works. So when the body is going through spiritual upgrades, that's one of the things that confused me at the time. I didn't know what was going on. I thought there was a problem or something like that, but there's no problem with you. You're just being upgraded spiritually. And sometimes the body is going through these massive transformations energetically, on a DNA level, on a spiritual level. So basically, it also affects your sleep patterns. They will change. You could have been a person who used to go to sleep at 11. This time you're finding yourself sleeping at 3 in the morning, sometimes at 4 in the morning. Sometimes I remember I was waking up all night. I was awake all night until like 6 in the morning. So sometimes it happens. So it shouldn't shake you off. Of course, it's going to make you feel a little bit tired, but it shouldn't be something like frighten or scare you. You just understand that there's something that's happening on a spiritual level, even if you don't see pretty much all the details. Another sign, which is the last one, let me say, I think it's 12 or 13. That is when you are all of a sudden having these offers out of the blue. When you have gone through a spiritual upgrade, you're in a very high vibration. You have got a very big aura. And you're just out and about doing your own thing. A person wants to offer you something. Can I offer you this? Do you want to sit in my place? Can I give you a lift? And the things like that. The offers are coming out of the blue. And it feels like a miracle, but that's because your energetic frequency is getting higher now. And people can recognize and can feel that energy, even if they don't even know why are they drawn to you, even to the extent whereby they're going to give you any kind of offer. And sometimes very little things. A person wants to buy you a coffee, a person wants to pay for your ticket, a person wants to do this, those kind of things. That is why you know that you've been upgraded spiritually, and that is also the sign that you have gone through very massive spiritual upgrades. I don't know which other signs you want to add on the top. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session, donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, catch you guys in my next one. Denzo Most signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.